What's up, y'all? This is the raw, uncut version of To Be Real podcast, and we finally back. It's just me right now, but I did want to get this out only because I know I've been trying to get to this for a very long time. I've been saying I've been going to do it, and we finally doing it. Um, yeah, I wanted to do a different way, but because of the air quality and everything right now, we just gonna do it like this right now. And the message still gonna get out, so it's gonna be good. Um, yeah, what I really want to kind of get into the thick of things is just talking about a level of having an expectation on yourself that sometimes you kind of fall into reality of not doing or falling through with your purpose. What I mean by that is we kind of could put a little too much pressure on ourselves sometimes. Kind of thinking about the result rather than doing and falling through with the process. Like fall in love with it. Just kind of just doing whatever we need to get where we want to go in life. Like for example, like with this podcasting thing, um, I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, and just to kind of just use this as like a mental space to where I could just vent and connect to anyone else who's kind of like going through certain things, certain aspects in life, and want to just shed light to anybody to kind of touch their, you know, touch their heart a little bit and kind of feel motivated, because I kind of get motivation myself because I have a lot of deep conversations with family, friends, and you know, people I might just come across. Um, but yeah, so one thing I want to take note of is this podcast is something I created. Came about on my own, and I just gave the ideas to other people. But I kind of was holding back. I felt a sense of holding myself back because I was worrying about how people might like portray it, how I might sound because I'm not really used to like speaking like out in the open publicly. I kind of always been a person that just stayed to myself rather, or just kept my thoughts to certain people or whatever the case. Um, but yeah, so it kind of held me back. So it's like I do it, I still want to do. I'm gonna do it this time, that time. Kind of why I was like kind of just dependent on people to, you know, like kind of carry me through. Because it was like that's kind of the reason I didn't do it alone. In the first podcast episode, you seen me do it with my sister and my cousin, and it went great. It honestly went great. But as time went on, I learned that I can't just keep dependent on other people for my purpose. I mean, this is my purpose at the end of the day. You're still going to see them, but this is something I wanted to do. And the only way anything was going to happen if I put my foot down and I put some motion in towards it. So in life, I just feel as though we kind of just fall victim of our own reality and our mental, as far as like we just can do it. Just, at the end of the day, you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to always get things done like perfect. It's not supposed to be like that. When you get out the womb, it takes time. It takes time for you to like walk. You gotta crawl before you walk. And when you do try to take your first steps, you're gonna fall. That's a part of life until you finally get to it, and then you finally walking, and that's what you can take for anything. Whether you wanna play basketball, whether you wanna be a singer, whatever you wanna do, make clothes. Cause I didn't make clothes before, like, and I felt at it. You know, I felt at it first. My first time doing it, and then I did it again, and I got what I got from it. You know, made the connections. Made my money from it. I always been somebody who been willing to try. It's all about just staying consistent and not getting discouraged, because sometimes we get discouraged because of how people may view us or view what we're doing, and probably the little support you might get, you probably be thinking like, man, people not trying to support, but I think it's all about just playing the long game and focusing on what you want to do, because anything is achievable, anything is possible. So you gotta have the mental. I think the physical part is easy. It's really easy because once you do it once, once you do it twice, you're gonna be able to do it. It's just the mental and the discipline. You gotta have the discipline to do anything you want in life. You gotta run it full circle. I always had this conversation with people. You kind of have how to. You kind of gotta look at life like brushing your teeth, or you gotta look at it in a way where, another way where like you gotta eat food. When you eat food or whatever. But brushing, I talk about the brushing teeth first. Brushing your teeth, you make that a priority. When you brush your teeth every day, you keep your teeth clean. If you don't, you're not gonna keep them clean. Same thing with eating. If you don't eat, you're not gonna survive. You're not gonna live. So you got to have that same kind of mentality when it comes to your dreams and goals, and have that focus. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have your good days, you're going to have your bad days, but you got to live through them. You got to feel them. You can't let anything get you off your pivot. You're going to have people in your life who kind of going to give you experience to where as though there's going to be a reason why they come into it. They might come into it to benefit you and get you where you need to be, as far as like what their their spirit is given. Or you gonna have some people who are just lessons and not really people you want to have around, but you needed them at that moment to let you know what kind of person you are and what kind of people you want to have in your space. So at the end of the day, the main focus is always keep grinding, always keep focused, keep that love, keep that energy, keep passion, all of that. So yeah, peace.